So at least after 2-3 slides, I'll stop and you can start translating. I think good morning to all of you. We have our esteemed Dilip sir, Sugnan sir, and the organizers from this, Dr. Sebastian, Matthews, and other people, my colleagues from CIFRI and CIFRI, and Nachiket, and farmer friends, or the different organizations, the people who have participated. And before I start this, a small humble beginning of ICAR Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute, way back in 1947, established in this part of India, means Barakpur, where 75 years glorious service to the nation and inland fisheries sector, from where if will free that inland sector from year to now you will contributing more than 10, in the including aquaculture 10 million metric tons. And if we'll see, recently we brought out a document for FAO in inland fisheries, where Dr. Sugunan was also actively involved, in which we have documented what we report for the FAO for inland fish production, much more produced in the country. Okay, again, if you look into this, fishers population in the inland fishers, if you see, it is a why we are so much concerned about this. It is an important source of food, nutrition, income, and livelihood for hundreds of millions. Again, we will see it is contribute 1.24% to the national gross value added product and 7.28% to the agricultural. If we'll see, again, out of maybe 230 this much people, we are involved in inland fisheries sector, 43.7% are women. So this is the 2022 statistics of the Department of Fisheries. Again, all of you know, out of 10 avatar, Matsya avatar, Kesava Dhruta Meena Sarirat, Jai Jagadish Hare. So out of 10 avatars, you will see, from hunting, gathering, and worshipping to the livelihood, fisheries and the fish has an important role today in terms of nutrition, then livelihood, as well as economic empowerment and doubling the fishers and farmers' incomes. And what we are thinking, maybe water is scarce, but you can definitely produce more crop per drop, means more fish from by different ways and means in the recent eras. Again, if you look into this, how do we classify the inland fisheries sector in the different ways? All of you know. That is small-scale fisheries today we are talking. Then it is your artisanal or your traditional fisheries, then subsistence fisheries, then recreational or sports fisheries. Again, all of you know small-scale fisheries, it is open water fisheries considered in terms of in the maybe lake, rivers, reservoirs, and if we'll see wetlands, then estuaries, derelict water bodies and canals. So all this aspect, and again the artisanal and the traditional fisheries, maybe it is also small scale fisheries, maybe individual household fishing, maybe cast net, other things in a traditional ways, where if you have a less capitals to harness the harvest of the aquatic resources. Again, it is your subsistence fisheries, that is unemployed for that harvest fish and other aquatic organisms in a close proximity nearby for the different purposes, maybe consumptions by the different techniques. And if we'll see, maybe a simple gear you can operate. And a recreational fisheries means angling, other things, maybe if we'll see, lot part of the your Kolkata, maybe go for the angling or the weekend fishing. This is a sports fisheries, and it was established initially maybe the trout and other things, and later it was gone for the different purposes. Please translate.
Yeah. Once translators are done, please raise your hand so that we can proceed.
Again, if we'll see, when we talk about industry, anything, we talk about the organized sector and unorganized sector. Again, if we'll see small-scale fisheries is totally maybe organized, not organized, it's an unorganized sector, because nobody looks the well-being of the small-scale fisheries. Though there are different schemes, programs that are being placed but lot of the things are concentrated to the aquaculture development by the government of India or any sector where this site is being neglected. Though if we see more than 23 million people are in the country is living on these practices and playing an important role from employment, income, food and nutritional security. Again, the resources like your culture-based fisheries, natural stocking, harvesting, enclosure cultures are in the small-scale nature, and other ancillary activities, if you look into the net making, boat building, engine repair, maintenance, also provide additional employment in this large gamut of the small-scale fisheries. But it is totally diverse in nature and different from the marine sector. Again, if you look into this, I told 95% of the world inland fisheries catch in the developing countries comes brought under the small-scale fisheries. Again, 97% is located in developing countries. It is provides, I told, all these things, food security, livelihood security, nutritional, social protection, and 90 to 95% catch is direct local for the local consumptions. Again, 90% are of full-time and part-time fish workers. And I told that 47, around 50% are women, and that has a smaller environmental footprints also. Because if you look into the today's, we are talking about the environmental drivers, climate change, and nutritional. Again, we go for the hidden harvest and hidden hunger. All are interdependent and related to these small-scale fisheries. Again, look back to what is the opportunities in this. Means if we'll see, it will reduce the harmful of the fishing efforts because of whatever if we'll see the negative impact, it will be reduced because all are maybe you feel country boats, the people type of it will not add any of this, maybe your pollutions, so many things. And if we'll see it is, if you're using this type of, you can regulate the mesh and other things, so you can regenerate the juvenile fisheries, means rebuild the depleted fisheries in the then if you we are talking about the SDG, and if you'll see, you can add and remove the all subsidies whenever it possible, harmful fisheries subsidies, enhance the effective areas management of the conservation of the biodiversity. All of you know, and COFI 27 CVD regulations has come up recently, and you look that all are addressed to the inland fisheries and the small-scale fisheries also. Again, if we'll see the implementation of the global agreement, like we are talking about the climate change, when if we'll by that you have zero emission, other things, and all of you know, fish or aquatic environment, seaweed, algae will take a greater impact reducing the carbon dioxide footprint and global carbon dioxide emission also. And if we'll see the special focus on this fisheries and engine for the food security and nutrition and livelihood. Again, if we'll see what are the characteristics of a small scale and large scale inland fisheries in India, if we'll see, and we have categorized, means the size of fishing vessels engine, it is a non-motorized mostly, small 3 to 7 means or 12 m, and types of craft and vessels, maybe wooden boat, canoes, coracles, dinghies, fishing areas, grounds, you could see river, lakes, wetlands, creeks, channels, small reservoirs. And if you see fishing units, maybe individual, family members or small community groups, ownership mostly it will be owner operated, and very few are maybe where the multiple fishing like a hillside fishing, 3 people or somewhere is involved. There are some of the higher level beings are worked, then time and employment usually part-time, catch disposals, and if you go to the local market and household consumption. There is no loss in this catch, or if you compare to the bag net fishery in the trawl where the large catch disposal will be there. And utilization of catch means fresh consumptions, technology knowledge is a traditional knowledge mostly, then factors of productions means labor intensive, it will be less labor intensive, benefit is direct consumption, and the income is. So these are the most of these characteristics of the small scale fisheries, and if we compare vis-a-vis large scale is a different ways of expensive, and it will be catch per unit of hertz is very less, and you will find production and all the maintenance, other things will be gone, and mechanization will be taking place. Again we talk about the small scale fisheries, mostly they are hidden harvest. If a study of our institute will see one of the wetland near to Bangladesh border, Doma wetland, where we have seen that around 300 active fishermen daily fishing with their country boat, and they harvest 4 to 5 kilo small scale indigenous fish, which accounts around 10 crores rupees from that. If we will go for the culture based, talking for IMs or other things, it may be hardly contribute 5-6 crores, but the small scale fish consumption, it go for maybe 60% go for the NR consumptions and 40% go for the marketing. So this you see, this much amount in the wetland, maybe other wetland varies 30 to 50%, but here it dominated, and 300 farm fishers of their livelihood run by this in that wetland. So it is this, like if you see, when the 4 states dominated by the wetlands like Assam, Bihar and West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, how much goes for this is a small example of this. If you extrapolate all these things, you will find lot of things go for the consumptions, that means for the hidden harvest. Again linked to the hidden hunger. Hidden hunger means if the small indigenous fish contributes lot of elements, micronutrients, vitamins, that contributes to their health aspect. And we have studied those people, those fishermen resides near the bank of wetlands, river, other things, they visited less to the hospital. So this indicates how the well-being of takes place, the health issues has been taken care by the small indigenous species. Second thing, the malnutrition. In Sundarban, we have tried in a Namkhana village 1 month with feeding with this small indigenous species, mola and putti, for 1 month. We see their blood parameters, anemic conditions has been drastically reduced. This indicates even if how you are, today if you are talking about the frequent medical attendance, medications, everything, small indigenous consumptions will play a big role to reduce your hospital expenditures and health conditions. And when you are talking about one health program and one planet, healthy well-beings, the small indigenous fish play a greater role for the coming future. Again, if we'll see, out of 17 Sustainable Development Goals declared by the UN nations, so the fisheries or the aquaculture can cater to the 9 goals, starting from eradication of poverty, goal 1, goal 2, zero hunger, goal 3, good health and well-being, goal 4, gender equity, goal 5, clean water and sanitation, goal 6, decent work and economic growth, goal 7, climate action, goal 8, life on land, and goal 14, life below the water. Again, all these things is linked to how best, if we see the compared to the agriculture, we say fisheries or aquaculture, definitely this we can able to reduce. And again, we will play a greater role in the climate change, climate scenario. You know, there will be rise in 1.5 degree temperature. Maybe next, whatever the projected 2050, but will achieve this situation. So in this context, we should work in the climate resilient fish or climate resilient fisheries. Again, hunger, poverty, all of you know, because if this fish is a cheap source of protein and it also facilitates small indigenous fish versus small scale fisheries will facilitate a good amount of the reducing the malnutrition. So again, if we integrate with a rice fish culture, rice fish may be a small scale, it is options without affecting the environment. It is a greater source of maybe a different small models can have sustained the women to empower and related to the family farmings and family systems that can reduce the poverty and hunger in the country also. Again, if you will see, this is the recently we exercised for the FAO, and you see how much the production comes from the different sources of the river, canals, reservoirs, floodplain, estuaries, lagoons, lakes, upland, and this was recently submitted to the FAO. It was contributing 21%, if you see, calculate to the total inland fish productions, and which was reported by India, it is 15% to the FAO, but still we are more. And if you see, this small-scale fisheries documentation is more important to see what are the target envisaged that the Department of Fisheries to achieve the double the productions, double the income. All these things will play a greater role if your data system will be healthy and that can be robust in nature. Again, I will go to the river and small-scale fishery. Before that, you can finish your translation. Okay. We can go. Maybe you see the river and fisheries. All of you know it is very difficult to control and manage because we have a vast spread of area of river and resources spreading from state to state. Maybe there is a governance pattern is very difficult to address. It is one of the great example of hillside fisheries in India compared to the Bangladesh. And we are here, the production of hillside is reducing where the Bangladesh is increasing. That is a beautiful example, people cite, and we required a maybe one-step governance with respect of center-state relationship or anything to look into this availability of these fish. Again, if you look into this river and resources, you will see there is a lot of challenges. If you see maybe ownership issues with the common pool of nature of rivers, maybe absence of fishing rights here, pollutions due to different industrial heavy metals and plastic pollution is a bigger threat today. And because if you look into this estuarine of this, maybe a bagnut fisheries out of 10 kilo, 8 kilo are plastic. So how much you see concern is there. Again, lack of control and regulation of the juvenile fishing because of estuaries play a major lifeline for the recruitment, and we are losing maybe 33 crores from Phineas Montana juvenile fishings from the estuaries of Hooghly-Matla. Again, pesticides is the main the things, if it kills all the larval forms, there is the things. Again, violation of the fishing ban period because of you don't give the alternate livelihood to the fishermen, and overfishing is one of the another because zero mesh, other things, and destructive fishing gear, methods of electric fishing also, then destruction of the fish seed, that is juvenile fishing I told. So these are the major challenges in the riverine fishing. And again, if you see, we know there are 14 major rivers, areas all of you know, and totally the, if you see, with a low catch per unit efforts means if earlier what people are getting per day means per hour, now it was reduced. Multiple multi-mesh gear fisheries, gill net, seal net, barrier net, hook and line and trap, named as different in different states. And if you see the loss of these breeding grounds because it caters lot of breeding grounds, and dams and barrages also create deeper pools. There is stop in migrations. Potamoderm species also restricted their migrations to a localized one. Source of spawn and brooders for the aquaculture, subsistence, fisheries. And if you look into the fish yield potential and actual yields in the, we have given here Jamuna and Ganga in different stretches. If you see today we are in just a stagnation rate of actual yield or actual catch as compared to the potential is very high. And we have to exploit how best because we do not have the actual stock characterizations, recruitments, study of the different fish species, maybe 230 species available in river Ganga. Out of that today is available is 190, and out of that maybe by 66 are the commercial values, maybe 75, 80 numbers are, if you'll see, they are the ornamental values. Next are maybe sports, fisheries and other things. With this, I am giving one example because for the national mission, all of you know, this national mission program was declared out of 10, one of the biggest program taken by the India in the global, by the UN also, maybe a few days back only. It was the one of the program. In the CIFRI is one of the partner to this program, and we are taking a lot of revamping to see the Ganga water to be clean, to increase the livelihood of the people. And I can cite you the most of the things you will see. These are the income, riverine fisheries income. Maximum is 11,000 in a challier in Kerala. This may be due to because of the fish and cost is very high in that part of these things. But if you see Ganga in the middle stretch, in Ganga it comes from 4,000 to 10,000 rupees. In the across maybe upper stretch to the lower and middle stretch is higher. And this is around 9,000 rupees. Siang is only 5,500. Torsa is 6,100 around, and Gandak is around 4,700. Tapi is 6,200. Kaveri is around 9,000. So this is the, if you see, the income generation per month of a fisherman. This is too low to the present area of contest. If you want to implement any regulatory measures, we have to think for their alternate livelihood. Then we can restrict whatever the measures, pattern that will be given to the fishermen to adopt. Unless otherwise, then it will be only a pen and paper. Coming years will suffer like anything. Again, if you look into this, I told the factors, maybe I am giving one of the things like your decline in hillside fisheries, pre-Farak coverage and post-Farak coverage. If you see maybe Bakchar, Bhagalpur, Allahabad, and today if you see, maybe this catch was not available in this region today, maybe after construction of the Farak coverage. And we have some of the programs, and I told these are the different pollution factors affecting the your fisheries of the rivers, starting from the sewage, different persons, pollutions from environmental, pesticide, plastics, and or maybe destructive fishing operations from the different gears, from bag net, small mesh, soothing net, sourcing net, lift net, barrier nets. So these are some of the things, like one of the bag net fisheries, how much bycatch comes that were thrown, in which you will find in the Hooghly Matla, where the small juveniles, hilsa and topcha are being also destroyed. So this is the condition where there is a small scale fishers complain about the trawlers. So there is a there is a conflict also arises because of this bag net fishing also. Again, I told you, see, this is a juvenile fishing, Pineus monodon juvenile catch. This is a 33 crore rupees is been sold. We have studied this, and mostly women and children are involved in this type of industries work. Most of the ladies are there involved and are there, because one may be 50 paisa, one PL 50 paisa to 1 rupee they sell. So this is the things, and you see, and this also happens in this, largely in this, not only this, all the estuaries, maybe West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra, mostly Andhra coast is not available, Odisha and West Bengal, most of the things with the natural cut juveniles are sold for the Pineus monodon culture purpose. Again, another one is the exotic invasion. It is more potential threat to the systems, and if you see this year, suckermouth catfish is the new exotics is colonizing in the river Ganga. Besides the other maybe like your common carp, other things there, and tilapia is a menace to this today. If you see maybe the catch in common carp, tilapia in, if you see in the Prayagraj portions is very high, dominating the things. And again, if you see there is a reservoir, Gandhi Sagar or reservoir in Madhya Pradesh, one of the reservoirs where earlier the common carp tilapia population is 5% and 95% is katla populations. Today, the reverse is being happened. And we have given a model like your model like a fish that has been introduced, like a Notopterus chitala has been introduced to control the early spawn of this tilapia so that the fisheries will not more and restore the katla populations. So, chitala will eat on the spawn of this tilapia. So that model we have introduced. So today, therefore, we always tell for the cage culture which is coming up, which reservoir tilapia population is there we can go for the tilapia culture in cage, or else we are strictly opposing the tilapia systems in the natural water body. So because that is a menace to the system. Again, we take a innovative way of ranching program in the river Ganga. Today we found that due to ranching of our systems, the population, the carp population is increasing in the river Ganga. Again, if you see last 1920, the the Prayagraj Landing Center has documented the double the catch. Means at least there is increasing in the fish catch in the river Ganga, which is a good impact for the small-scale fisheries. Again, with this concept, Government of India has started the other major river ranching programs with the involvement of state government. But we should have stick to the germplasm contaminations, and the brooders collected from the natural resources will be bred and that should be released. No artificially long-term hatchery bred seed could not be released, which will be creating inbreeding depressions. So that is the bottleneck. We have to sensitize, bring a regulatory measures among the state governments, because there are no, the higher ups of the state government machineries are not technocrats. So that has to be brought in the knowledge, so they should understand the meanings of the ranching programs, then we can sustain the biodiversity and look the protections of your fishers' right. Okay, then if we'll go to this riverine fisheries, Hilsa, I told Hilsa is one of the important fisheries in the river Ganga, and it was contributing more in the early years. I told before the construction of the Farakka barrage, and gate number 25A, which was the fish lock or fish ladder, was constructed. It was closed for 30 years. So therefore, the migratory route of Hilsa was stopped. So in that case, under Namami Ganga program also, for last 3 years, we are a dialogue with the Farakka authorities, Ministry of Shipping Corporations, IWI, to make that gate to be open, and it is finalized, it will be opened. Again, we have another navigational lock is being constructed, where if have a fish pass has been given. Again, thirdly, we are doing a ranching program. Again, Hilsa ranching program, Mother Hilsa. By impact of this, maybe today, if you see the figure is given 3,000, but today we have gone around 72,000 brooder Hilsa has been ranched in the upstream. And maybe on 30th of this December, Honorable Prime Minister will speak in the Hilsa about Man Ki Baat program. So that is a great achievement for the systems to look in this Hilsa can be boosted up in the Ganga systems, and the price fisheries for the small scale fishers will be available. So these are the, again, one of the important aspects is environmental flow of the river, because unless minimum flow is maintained, we do not find the fish fauna is available, aqualife will be available. To maintain the environmental flow, with the Ministry of Environment or River Valley projects, we are constantly talk to maintain the environmental flow for the keystone species or which was the commercial fish species, so that the livelihood of the fishers can be intact. Third one, so you can finish this one, we'll go for the next. And we are talking for the reservoir fisheries for a long time is a sleeping giant. But how long it will be sleeping giant? What are the programs being addressed, like culture-based fisheries, stock improvement, unless otherwise it's a carp has been chosen for the increasing the stock. But still we do not find there is a stock is increasing. Today, maybe large river, the production is same 32 kg, which was reported in 2011. Except few, which was government or Madhya Pradesh, Govind Sagar, Gandhi Sagar has been taken in a private-public partnership mode, has increased their production. Still, if you see the Andhra Pradesh or Bihar, it is still low, maybe 10 to 15 kg. So where we stand, that is the thing. And there is maybe they are like some of auto-recruitable species model, like Puntius group or Puntius sarana, Systemos sarana. This group of fish which can be auto-recruitable, that can be thought for the reservoir increment, because all of you know there is a relationship between prey-predations. If you are releasing in the carp fingerlings, maybe some are being utilized by the your catfishes, there is production. Because today whatever the size we stock, we advise ICAR guideline or CIFRI guideline or NFD 100 millimeter size. Not a single department can go for that much size, because there is a lack of sufficient space for growing fingerlings to that much 100 millimeter size. That is a major constraint for the increasing the reservoir production, productivity or productions. Again, if you see, because of I told these are the experience, and we have studied to this time also the 9 medium reservoirs, and we have found that there is an increase in 143% after the adoption of the culture-based fisheries from 2010 to 2016. Means it is a production increase from 709 metric tons to 1012. So this way means we have to see this is a sustainability maintained, so that the livelihood options for the things will be gone. Again, the annual fish yield showing an increased trend from 38 tons to 121 tons in large reservoirs in Uttar Pradesh also. Then this is the, with that, what is the reservoir fisheries need is the transfer of management rights to all man-made waterfall of the state departments to bring to such one, because this is mainly is again domain of the irrigation and other things. When there is inter-departmental things are there, or intra-department things are there, conflict of the things, resources. So because the simple example, if you will see here, recently West Bengal started the cage culture under PMSSY, and the irrigation department giving the no permanent and temporary structure will be constructed, where cage is a full temporary structure. So all these things, understandings and the governance and the what are the course of actions if you want to increase the productions or fisheries to this. Again, today a lot of water bodies are declared to the Ramsar site. Maybe people see there is a forest department is a major role. And here you have to see the rights of the fishermen again to be maintained, because they will not allow to do many things in that. So those Ramsar site, the governance pattern should be spelled out for the fishermen perspectives. Again, we have studies, we have this year, we have a project, in-house project, to look into the fish fauna in the protected place, major protected place. And we found also, if though it is a protected place, the tilapia population is there. So where it comes, again, this is a thought process for everyone. If it is a protected place, where this type of populations, again, there should be involvement of the fisheries professionals to look into this aspect, to maintain this integrity of the protected place, a virgin ground of the germplasm for all the species, where we in the long run maintain into the stock replenishment and other things. Okay. Again, this is a small estimate. If you see, I told from large reservoir to small reservoir, present yield is from 34 kg to 190 kg. But potential is, if you see, 150 to 500 kg. Maybe if you see today production in if you see today, your present yield and production yield can be very high if you can target this water body, maybe in a strategic scale to adopt. And what is a PMSY program? They have taken every year some reservoirs to be adopted for the stocking. But what is the flaws in there? First year they have given the stocking, but second year they are not covering those reservoirs. But they are giving the cumulative production for the next 5 years. So it will not happen unless otherwise you should have a sustainable model for the reservoir enhancement. So that is one of the flaws if you see PMSSY, the stocking in reservoir and wetlands. So we have to see how best those water bodies, maybe a sustainable thing means you have a community management, community participatory approach where a lot of governance, because if you see there is a varied governance pattern from state to state. Again, empowering the community, the cooperative societies or the self-help groups. Today we are talking about the FPOs, farmer producer organs or fishers producer organizations, all should be brought into a common platforms with the involvement of the technology partner or research organizations or governmental bodies to look into these water bodies to a sustained production models. And then it will be happen that what are the potentials. If we reach the halfway of this potentiality, we can achieve the target HHNYs for the 2025, maybe the doubling the productions to the present tune of 16.4 million metric tons from the total fish productions to 24. Again, I told if you see there is a issues also, maybe ownership. I told one of the things, unable to quality seed for stocking, that is the one of the major constraint, because when we go for the NFDB project 5 Oxbow lakes or wetlands in Bihar, we don't find the type of stocking program is maintained by the different state government is reasonably to increase the fish production in the reservoir, because one thing is your 100 millimeter size, means 10 centimeter, 100 millimeter means 10 centimeter size, we are not getting any other things, for which Madhya Pradesh government is all the time, federation is working with the CIFRI to reduce the size of stocking because they do not get. So this is the case for all the state government who adopt these stocking models in the reservoirs. Again, if you look into the one of the largest reservoir, Hirakud reservoir, when the state government was going for the increase, all these things, production was increasing. But all of a sudden for last 4 years they have stopped the stocking, then production has come down. Again, so that is a trend if you see, when you are going for the culture-based fisheries or you can stock enhancement programs, we have to see the species and how it will be related to these things. Again, a recruitment in these reservoir systems, because bond breeding concept is not practiced. All the carps, that major carps that may not breed in this system. These are the some of the issues you will see. Again, a difficulty in fishing, many people complain because of large of trunks, only the gill net fishing is available. Again, they are in the season, means when there is a rain, there is a flooding conditions, water release, so a lot of fishes escapes into from the reservoirs when they go for the stocking programs and the ownership right. Again, if you look into this, I told the disorganized input-output sector also. Again, if you like our technology, like your pen culture for the small and medium reservoir, where in situ rearing, means you will grow the fish in that embarkment when it attains 20 gram size in 60 days. If you take pen culture, therefore release, there is assured production. So we have demonstrated, we are now demonstrating 17 reservoirs in 10 reservoirs in Chhattisgarh and 17 reservoirs in Jharkand, where the model is successful with the implementation of the pen culture technology. Again, what we can take, we are talking of the management strategy. I told one is the culture-based fisheries, another is enclosed culture in medium and large reservoirs, then stock enhancement in medium and large reservoirs. Then if you look into there is a fish aggregating devices or habitat conservations. Then species environment, because of today we are talking about the small indigenous species, we should see the biodiversity may be lot of reservoirs and wetlands may be from fish diversity 34 to 85. All should be intact if you look into this, because many wetlands maybe we have studied two of the Ramsar site in Himachal Pradesh under the GIZ and the state government. The birds population is aggregating because of small indigenous fish, and if you see consumption for the birds is a huge small indigenous fish. If you do not have a recruitment model in these reservoirs, maybe we are talking about the Ramsar side, maybe a desert. After a few years, we should look into those are the systems when fisheries point of view enhancement, and that will be related to the people who are going for the fishing also. Again, small scale fishers. In the total, it is not only small scale fisher contributes to the food basket, again for the environmental of cleaning and the biodiversity aspect. Again, we will go to the wetland fisheries. All of you know that it is vast resources, and mostly the wetland resources are restricted to the 4 states of the India, and very few larger things will be like a freshwater system in the Manipur Loktek Lake or Chilka Lagoon. These are the things, and again these wetland resources, if you see, one of the major constraint is your siltation and if you see the urbanizations. This is the 2 major constraint, and third one is the water hyacinth. So these are the constraint if you look into this. Again, all of the case I told there is your ownership issue challenges is there, then conflict with the agricultural sectors, different things, encroachment I told, then loss of river connectivity, because if you see the comparison with the connected wetlands and the unconnected wetlands, the connected wetland, large of wetland wise, there is exchange of water, means charging happens, juvenile recruitment happens, but unconnected it is not happening. Gradually fisheries is going to the depletion. Again, if you will see, there is a governance, again I told, again the lack of awareness to use the sustainable fish productions, and there is use for the water abstractions. And we should have a conservations and restoration of ecological integrity of the important natural wetlands, promotion of culture-based fisheries, then ensuring easy availability of quality seed for stocking of the wetlands. Again, if you are doing locking, that is your ecosystem approach based of this. This is the most need of the wetland fisheries for the ecosystem based. Again, we talk about the system today, like we are working a concept like Artha Ganga. Artha Ganga means how much Ganga economics gives. If we can estimate maybe 20,000 crores comes from the fisheries point of view, we should tell the funding agency they can invest at least 10 to 20%. Then we can sustain the ecosystems in proper manner. And so that is the one aspect, it is evaluation of goods and services. We have to do these of the natural bodies. Valuation is more important in the today's concept. Again, if you see that we have the present yield is only 400 kgs. If you compare to the Assam, maybe people are working the Assam wetland, that is your connected, unconnected, stocked, unstocked. If you see with the intervention of CIFRI, they have increased the production from maybe 30% to 70% from the stocked to unstocked. Again, the average potential is 2,000 and average yield is 1,600. Again, if you 400 to, even if you go to a time scale of 500, 600, maybe it will take another 20 years to reach, more than 20 years to be the targeted yield, that is the potential yield. That needs to the interventions in the all sector, and whether PMSY or for FIDF, because today the infrastructure fund is only restricted to the marine establishment. No inland infrastructure development. The cooperative societies, lending center, organizations giving the boards and other things, the in the inland sector is not that much organized if we can sustain this sector in a long run. Again, one of the things, we have intervention, I told the Oxbow Lake of the Bihars, with the, I told in the co-management practices, with this community participations, we go from habitat management, fisheries management, technological interventions of the CIFRI technology, supply chain managements, capacity and skill managements. And these are the different interventions from the pen cultures to different stakeholders, cage cultures, captive nurseries, then training, so and with the biodiversity, intaking the biodiversity, maybe you will find Valagar too, very the important systems in the Bihar wetlands, and where though interventions is there same in the different varied conditions, we can find that to increase in the income is 1.5-fold to 3.5-fold. 1.5-fold because large dominated by the catfish, so that was hampers of the targeted productions. Again, one of the important aspects is that we see that fishing man days has increased maybe from 33 days to half a year. So that is a great interventions if you want to maintain that migration of labor can be stopped, then these type of interventions in natural water bodies is important for the governance, then social, cultural, rituals and all aspects of the systems to adopt, because it has a larger impact on the societal development. Again, these were the things I told. With the different interventions, we've increased the productions from the different wetlands. And another one more models, that is your grass carp models also, in to which the rich in macrophytes, that we are introducing a grass carp model, so that we found that the productions has increased by the grass carp systems in the wetland of the Bengal. It is a Beladanga wetland which was adopted in the world fish also on these systems. Again, and this is a beautiful model. If you a macrophyte dominated wetlands can be controlled by the grass carp. Again, if you look into the canal fisheries, canal fisheries or fisheries in derelict water bodies, if you see 26%, if you the second canal, the second important, 26% of the irrigation covering 17 million hectares in India. And these resources is not exploited for the small scale fisheries. But the harvest of this canal are not taken into account in inland fisheries productions because of no standard technologies of the canal fisheries, conflict of interest, and we have taken the model in the Sundarban areas, and maybe 1, 2, 3 canal. I am giving one canal with the stocking of 2 lakhs rupees, my only fingerlings, with a 1200 people community participated, where you can get 24 lakhs rupees. The simple interventions with the community participations to avoid poaching and other things. The income is from 2 lakhs, 2,31,000 to 24 lakhs. So it is a benefit to the community with their own participation. So similarly, because this is a short canal in Sundarban, you erected for the drinking or their irrigation purpose, it is a large scope for the livelihood, because those areas where rice, fish and your pond, literally the staple food and income for their community. This is a simple, beautiful models that can be exploited for the livelihood options for and empowerment the communities. Again, if you see, like large canals like Punjab or Haryana can be sourced for the cage culture systems that can be utilized for the short duration, not the large durations, with the participating the community and society. Again, these are some of the glimpses of the canal fisheries, where the Sundarban we have a net partitioning and using in situ rearings and the harvesting from the community. And this was done during the your cyclonic storm, is Amphan, other things, with the building a community to a standard levels. And if you see, finally, the socio-economic condition of the inland fisheries counts. If you see, literacy percentage up to 70%. And I told the income in the different maybe reservoir, wetland, in the different 52% income comes from the fisheries sector. And the labor is 22%, agriculture is 11%, business 14%, and other sources there. So this is the status when you work from the different categories of reservoir, wetland, river, and total you have categorized. And out of that you may be found that maybe reservoirs contribute more than rivers, then comes to the wetland also. So these are the total, the income status of the fishers in the different sources in the term of socio-economic fronts also. Again, I am not going in details of the governance others, because you might have, you will be discussing all these things, because we require mostly your legal, social, economic, political arrangements. And for that I can, and that can be in term of revenue-based model, wetland-based metals, in the maybe river fisheries in allocated India, wetland and reservoir fisheries in Bengal and Kerala, large reservoirs in Madhya Pradesh, medium and large reserves in Chhattisgarh. So these are the welfare-based models, if you can implement, and will be profitable. And revenue-based models are tank, ponds allocated in India, wetlands, reservoirs mainly in Uttar Pradesh, Assam and some other states. So these are the some of the models that can be adopted. Again, one of the beautiful example of based on the governance pattern of Chilka fisheries, where the government machineries, Chilka development authorities, ICAR, CIFRI, and some other organization, NGOs play a major role, for which all of you know the Chilka fisheries was going to be in a decline stage. But because of this, there is a restoration takes place, and there is a, based on the CIFRI forecastings, today their present yield is at par of these things. Again, all of you know, Chilka gives 10,000 crores from fisheries, 10,000 crores from your tourism, another 10,000 comes between this, which is the hidden portions, because it goes from the different systems of these things. And based on these CIFRI's guidelines, and there is an increase, means six-fold increase in the annual lending also. And catch per unit also goes. So that is a beautiful example of the Chilka fisheries, and today we are working for the log take also, because last year CIFRI, with the help of the Chief Minister of Manipur, we have started 1 lakh state fisheries, and they have regenerating their log take development authorities to have a consolidated efforts for the development of the log take lake. So these are the some of the Ramsar sites where CIFRI works as a technological knowledge partner with the different governmental organizations to upkeeping the small-scale fisheries in India. And these are the another work we told, that is strengthening the resource poor fishers. That is a culture-based fishery, the most common and reliable technologies in the floodplain wetland reservoirs to strengthen. Then a huge quantity of large-size fish seed, advanced fingerlings are required for successful operation of the culture-based fisheries. So therefore, if we can we have developed the state guidelines how to see that this much fingerlings required, and how much will that things, maybe your satellite systems of the, maybe with the pure breeding systems, the hatcheries to the culture-based fishery, raising the juveniles a required size and releasing into the wetlands or reservoirs will be need of the hour to get the, to strengthen the resource push for fishers and increase the productions from these things. Again, one of the important factors today is your climate change and disaster management. We are a partner to the ICAR NICRA activities, where we are doing the predictive modeling for the impact study, identifying the climate smart fish species, decadal analysis of climate change, vulnerability assessment, climate resilient technologies, and so on, the conservations of these things, and different aspects. These are the systems, and because all of you know, because the inland fisheries may not be felt the impact, but we have seen the there is an increase in temperature from 0.2 degree to 0.4 degree in river Ganga, Kaveri and Godavari basins. The breeding ground has been affected, spawning volatility has been affected. Even Katla is an early breeder. And due to this change in these rainfall patterns, we found that Katla breeding also affected. These are the some of the things. Again, if you see how if you can change in the small scale fisheries, I told we have to study the ecological vulnerability, species vulnerability, reproductivity vulnerability, geomorphological vulnerability, socio-economic vulnerability. Again, stakeholder participatory perception analysis is most important. Then if you look into the climate change, we have to see the exposure then sensitivity different, just like how much temperature it is affecting, just like you told, if optimal temperature for breeding is 28 to 30 degree. If above is coming, we have to see adjust. Then what is the impact and the adoption capacity and what are the things. Again, recently we are with the University of Waterloo. We have prepared a document, Vulnerability to Viability in Small Scale Fisheries of India. A beautiful document has come up. You can see in our website it is there, and it is for University of Waterloo. It is available for Indian context. Again, today, water area shrinkage is a major concern, just like geomorphological vulnerabilities. And our resources is in terms of climate change is declining. Again, we should take up the mitigation. Means first is we have to see the rebuilding the wild stock and improving fisheries conservation. So biodiversity is a major thing we have to see. Diversification, fostering the alternate livelihood. Today, instead of IMC, we should see other fishes, like you have like morels, catfishes, then small indigenous fishes. We have to look into more, because today we have 56 species breeding protocol is available. Hardly we go for the 5, 6 species or 10 species. We have to see with the participation of the state government or the private people, we should see that other fish species were the climate resilient species, the focus should be given. Again, if you see that I told the disaster management systems, frequent flood, other things, how you can maintain the systems. Maybe here, maybe small scale aquaculture concept like Sundarban area, other things, everything, salination, other things, a major constraint for the small scale aquaculture, which leading to the systems for their livelihood also. Then ecosystem based, I told adaptation, adjusting fishing pressures to the sustainable levels, because if you do not have the cage, how to restrict the different systems, different seasons, fishing ban period, all these things should be worked out. If you, for that you should see that there should be economically empowered and their livelihoods to be strengthened. So then if you see that maybe we have projecting in India with the culture-based fisheries, cage and pen cultures with the diverse species on the food niche and species spectrum. Just like only not in cage culture, only Pangasiodon is in culture, but we have developed another 5, 6 food species. So we have to work with the breeding, all this availability of seed for the cage at the right time. Then we can have a different way of strengthening thing. Again, cage can be used for the stocking material in the different parts for the reservoir, because the seed is a major constraint of these systems. So therefore, we have also diverted in the some part of the wetland, you have the cage depth has been reduced, the net size for the recruitment, the growth of these juveniles to the fingerlings. Again, we have another, like we talk of the integrated multi-trophic systems in Bembana Nug. With the pen culture, we have cockles and here caramins, the Atrophlosuratensis model has been established, which can be a good economic return to the fishers for their livelihood, maybe in the long run. Again, we will see how these small-scale inland fisheries contribute to this. Again, I told 23 billion for the fishers work in the inland sectors and provide cash income for the fishing. I told we have talked in the different sources how much income they give, food and nutrition and poverty reduction. So all will be targeting to the SDGs, which we have to achieve by 2030. And we have built up a chart how if you see the inland fishers in the different way goes to the wealth and capital generation, economic growth, household consumptions. Maybe if we do this, return to the livelihood security through the labor intensive seasonal activities, secondary occupations, earning and income support of the livelihood. Again, there is a household subsistence which goes to the poverty preventions and finally go to the poverty elevations. So, in third one with the fish catch which goes to the wholesome consumption, human nutrition also by the fish cell or household consumptions. So, there may be your protein and micronutrient intakes or income generations, then increase purchase power, then food security. So, this is the gamut of inland fisheries from economic growth, poverty reductions and food securities, then livelihood security. So, in a gamut, in a different systems, it will work from the labor to the household incomes. And we have talked about the different issues and constraints, but what are the other issues you will see? Mostly you will see that exotic species is a major issue. Then today also natural water bodies disease is also coming because of so much pollution, other things, surveillance, disease surveillance reporting systems will be. Just like if you look into the UK North Sea, salmon farming has taken place, maybe different. It's a major surveillance is active in the different viruses and other things. So we should have a surveillance pattern for that disease to protect the biodiversity. Again, the market and trade, it's a greater impact on the today if we'll go increase the economic empowerment of the people. And just like one model if we'll see, like a mango selling model in the Anugul district of Odisha, where there is a farmer's spot will be there, a mandi will be created, farmer will be bring and sell their product with this so much royalty. They give 1 rupee or 2 rupees to this every kilo. So this type of, then you will see that will be the farmers' rights can be selling so that the middleman, a lot of money has been taken that can be protected. So these are the some of the models that you can adopt for this, for the trade. And market infrastructure and modernizations will be taken place. Again, third things we are talking about, most important, if you know the COVID-19, how you taught us in the different aspect of the systems, we should see the empowering the local community, and this is the resource empowerment with the system empowerment with the natural water body. That should be one of the important to looking into the trade and economic and the migrations and livelihood options of the fishers. Again, what else can be done? This is the thing. People see, like I told, the human resource capacity building, because many people do not know when the fishers, maybe where 70% are the literate, many people do not know the ill effects of the what are do's and do nots. Again, the constant awareness among the stakeholders or the community is required for each to what is do's, do not. Again, if also the institutional finance, credit and insurance, we are talking for the so many years for the insurance, but it is not effectively done. Then governance and institutions need to recognize legitimate stakeholders in river, wetlands and reservoirs. There will be coordinations between your water resources department, the fisheries department in terms of things. Again, water budgeting and management policies. People are talking maybe tomorrow water may not be available for the fisheries. Then what else? Because if aqualife is strong, aqualife is more, we know the clean water. If aqualife, no aqualife, water is not clean. So that is a relationship if there exists. We should fight for the aqualife. That is the water resources to be maintained, environmental flow should be maintained, though we understand that is priority for irrigations, crops, but aqualife is that much also important, more important than the other sector also. Again, if you look into the introduction and regulation activity, I told this is one, then fisheries cooperatives, and what we are talking of the farmer producer organization, self-help group, all the genders participations, all these things, it is an integrated approach for the system management and governance. Again, research and development linkage. Today, you will see, though India's research publication has been increased manifold, but we should see that the investment and the research and all these things will be increased to protect this type of resources. Again, today maybe we do not find the extension workers. Again, I am not going detail about the fisheries sector development scheme from 1516 Blue Revolution scheme to 89 fisheries in aquaculture FIDF schemes and Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampad Yojana. Maybe somebody will be talking all these things. The investment is coming in this year. And how to capitalize this investment for the small scale fishery. There is a need. Need in this, we should focus. This much investment is required for the maybe river development, building some of the systems, just like if we are going for the recreational aspect, for the holy aspect to fisheries aspect. So we should place that whatever the investment for this small scale fisheries is not sufficient, we should have a strategic planning. Again, what are the, I am not also telling that your key performance, maybe somebody will talking about the enhancement, the investment in the value chain, technology infusion, policy support, financial inclusion, production utilization and land and water, alternate livelihood, development of cluster-based approach also. These are the key performance initiative under PMSSY, which may be dealt in detail. Again, with the how this was converged with the other schemes like Sagarmala programs, shipping corporations, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Schemes, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, National Livelihood Mission. These are integrated with these things, and today there are 720 FPOs is also working in this, and therefore we are talking about the concept like our Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is generating 54 lakhs of employment with this scheme. Again, if you see the funding pattern of this scheme, if you can get, if you are from different state government, you can go to your district office, you can get the funding pattern for all these schemes on the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, and it is differ from northeastern states and Himalayan states. Center share, if you see, out of center share with 2,400, state share is 600, beneficiary share 1,000, total 4,500 per year if you see. That is a contributions in that way. Again, with the union territories, it is more center shares, and for these other states, it may be 50-50, 60-40 in terms of different categories. Again, we are talking about all of you know, this there is a voluntary guidelines for small fisheries, and it is here that they go beyond the fishing and highlights the rights of fishers and fish workers. In some, they are about people, not just for fish. So always the rights says about the people. Again, other aspect, if people will be concerned, our sensitized, the fish will be remain healthy, and planets will be healthy. Again, if you see the governance, mostly the sustainable inland fisheries governance may be policy and legislation for small scale inland fisheries, then research, capacity building and awareness, valuations of goods and services in inland open water fisheries, then institutional mechanism will play a major role in this year, then management actions for conservation of the rehabilitations, and if you will have interlink all these things, then with the people participations mostly, without that community participations, and resource conservation policies, research capacity building, awareness and sensitization is a major systems that can be ICAR CIFRI. If you see in the all states, most of the stakeholder participations, we are trying to rebuild, regenerate, energize these natural water bodies, taking a model into the account and bringing to the state government or the policy makers their interventions, and that can be adopted in toto for the state, so that we can strengthen the inland sectors in a long run because all of you know, on the nutrition point of view, we are talking about India is self-sufficient in food grain today. And we have the fish production is maybe is increasing it, but today we are talking about the healthy food. So if a healthy planet, again ICR is regenerating one ICR systems, a commodity based to the systems for the people based governance, and in that context the inland fisheries will play a major role to rebuilding for the protein and the hidden hunger of the large number population who are living in the rural of this country. So for that, let us join hand to see how best this inland sector can prosper, and the natural water bodies, maybe small scale fisher may not have a domain of 0.5 acre of land, but this natural water body can give a lot of resources to earn their livelihood and sustain their economic, again to mitigate the hunger and addressing the hidden hunger of each of. So with this background, I thank you for patience hearing for a long time, because the translation process presentation is going on. So many flow is blocked because of we have to block our talk in between. And if I am mistaken somewhere, you can add on and you can clarify if some doubts are there. I am thankful because those people, stalwarts, Dr. Dilip Kumar, Dr. Jingran, built the institution. I am here to lead in the next stage of this institution. Thank you once again.
So now we can take a couple of questions, 2-3 questions before we break for tea. So in all the groups, among the participants, if you have any questions on the presentation to Dr. B.K. Das, then please you can ask.
Good morning, sir. I'm Sunil Dubey from Rajasthan. Thank you very much for your insightful talk and presentation. And I'm not going to ask any question, but my concern is for, like you have mentioned, Gandhi Sagar at many places. Probably it is a well-documented reservoir which the agencies have focused on. But we have adjoining the Jaisaman lake, which is India's second largest artificial lake, man-made lake. And that is receiving 9 rivers and 99 channels into it. And there is a heavy problem with the invasion of tilapia, which was introduced in it with consent, and I would say with consent and discussion with fisheries experts in Jaisamal. So my 2 concerns is in Jaisamal Lake may be focused on further detailed documentation by leading agencies. And the second thing is I would like to know more about what the leading agencies in fisheries sector research are thinking about exotic or invasive aquatic fishes, aquatic fauna, including mainly tilapia and other things. That's it. Thank you.
You see, whatever you told in your lake, all these things, tilapia introduction, maybe that was a wrong decision happened certain point of time. But generally, the government agencies, the ICAR organization, are always in oppose of tilapia introduction in the open water fisheries. Again, in pond culture, other things, maybe you will see wild fish is promoting so much large way to go for the monosex tilapia. Whatever monosex tilapia today we are having, they are 95% sterile, 10% fertile. That will leads to these things. Again, tilapia leg is just like a climate resilient egg. It will remain in the mud. Again, it will hatch out when the ambient condition will be there. So that purpose I told, because even if same thing, if you will see maybe Madhya Pradesh, there is a federation. If one federation which for reservoir running in a profit, because they take the advice from CIFRI from time to time. So if your lake, if you have a government, even long back, maybe 3 years, 4 years back, one of your secretary called us, CIFRI, we have sent 2 scientists. After your secretary changed, and they stopped interacting. So that is a state chapter. If you definitely your government will take the advice from the CIFRI, definitely we can have a strategy. I told them we have a strategy which I adopted in Madhya Pradesh also, introduction of your chitala, which is the best way is working. If you have a chitala, you can stock in a larger site, in that it will start on eating all these things. It will not prevent multiplying gradually. When the chitla population will be increasing, you will see tilapia population will be there. You cannot large order, you cannot use any of the pollutants, other things, kill all these things. So these are some biological control devices can be adopted for the systems. And when again there are sometimes there, I told you during a presentation, maybe your director or your secretary is IAS officer. So they do not understand the basics of the fisheries. So again they introduce whatever the things comes. Maybe there are many multiple. One small example I am telling. GIZ is preparing fishery policy for Assam. Can it be? Maybe he is a funding agency. The policy will be prepared by the well-known experts from the country. Taking the thing. That is not the agency to prepare the fisheries policy of the system. So those are the systems we should see and make the system in place. If you want, the systems will be. Everything in 100% foolproof concept is available with the ICL organization to maintain. Now you have a fisheries college is coming up in Rajasthan. They can, with collaboration with the department, if the strategic management will come, then things will happen. We do not disrespect to anybody, but at least advice should be proper persons who have experience, institution who is working, then you can work for the system. So these are the some of them.
धन्यवाद सर. मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है.
Sir, just we can have whatever the question and answer, the concerned person can translate so that everyone is on the same page. So, or can the translators do the translation about what has happened now?
It is related to Rajasthan, okay, they are not. Sir. Boliye sir.
It will complement or supplement to your. See, there are many examples. Yeah, there are many examples that you see, introduction of exotics have created really just completely total loss of that you see the resources. Kaptai Lake in Bangladesh, there also that you see that was accidental, or I do not know it was deliberate, but again it was the introduction of tilapia in that Kaptai Lake. So now you can see that the resident population of the local fishes are very, very low, and then it is mainly that you see tilapia. The same way what Dr. Das Sahab has told that about the Gandhinagar,
Gandhi Sagar.
Gandhi Sagar, yes.
Gandhi Sagar.
So there that you see already there is a introduction of tilapia. In several lakes and small reservoirs, they call it say irrigation reservoirs. These are smaller reservoirs, but there are 10,000 reservoirs in Sri Lanka. So there also several reservoirs they have introduction of tilapia, and it is really just to see cause. Now you cannot move back. So our government has taken a precautionary approach, although now it is allowed for aquaculture, but you need to take a license, and so that it is a precautionary approach. But if you just see, recently I could see that there was with Piki one workshop was there, where World Fish participated, and the person who was there in World Fish, they said that it is the government of India to promote this tilapia culture throughout. And the fact that you see, although they say that it is a sterile tilapia, but it is not, even 1%, 2% is also not sterile. It is mainly because of that, you see, hormonal treatment. Even 1% is not, then what will happen? Then they go and then you have male population or female already, so just it will start profusely. And they are so profuse breeders that it will replace the resident fauna. So it has, then I wrote, it came also on Facebook, I wrote that, see, let the government of India, people of India, institutions of India decide that is what we should do and what we should not do. It is not that they should come and just simply promote, because ultimately if anything goes wrong, it is our people will have to face. Thank you. Just this is only.
Thank you, sir.
স্যার
বলি
আমি উত্তরবঙ্গ থেকে এসেছি, নর্থ বেঙ্গল থেকে। স্টেট করবেন উনি।
আপনার বলুন বলুন আপনার বলুন।
আচ্ছা, আমার যেটা মূল ব্যাপারটা, আপনারা যে দূষণের কথাটা বলছেন, প্রতি বছর পুকুরগুলোতে এখন একটা করে ট্যাবলেট দেওয়া হচ্ছে। আগে পেস্টিসাইড দেওয়া হতো, একটা ট্যাবলেট দেওয়া হচ্ছে, সমস্ত মাছগুলো মরে যাচ্ছে। এই ঠিক এই সময়টায়, এই ডিসেম্বর মাসে একটা করে ট্যাবলেট দিয়ে সব ছোট মাছগুলোকে মেরে ফেলা হচ্ছে, সমস্ত প্রজাতি মেরে ফেলার পরে 15 দিন বা 21 দিন পরে চুন দিয়ে আবার ডিম ছাড়া হচ্ছে, পোনা ছোট ছোট হচ্ছে। এর ফলে ব্যাপক ক্ষতি, প্রচুর প্রজাতি নষ্ট হচ্ছে। মাছের নিয়ম, এছাড়া যত জমিতে পেস্টিসাইড হচ্ছে, মাছের নিয়ম হচ্ছে, বলা হয় বাংলাতে যে কই মাছ প্রয়োজনে তাল গাছে ওঠে। একটা সময় বৈশাখ মাসে প্রচণ্ড গরমের পরে যে বড় বৃষ্টিটা হয়, সেই বৃষ্টিতে মাছের পুকুরের থরও কেটে দিতে হয়। জলাভূমিতে মাছ চলে যায়, মাছ কাচ্চা বাচ্চা ডিম পাড়ে, কাচ্চা বাচ্চা দিয়ে। ভাদ্র মাসের একটা অন্ধকার পক্ষে ওই রুট দিয়ে মাছ কিন্তু বাচ্চাদের নিয়ে ঘরে ফেরে। আমরা প্রচুর পরিমাণে কই, মাগুর, শিঙি এই মাছগুলো অনেক সস্তায় পেতাম, আজকে সবটাই নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে। তাছাড়াও আমরা দেখলাম আন্তর্জাতিক স্তরে আমাদের উত্তরবঙ্গের প্রায় অধিকাংশ নদীতে বাংলাদেশ সরকার বাঁধ দিচ্ছেন। আত্রেয়ীতে দিয়েছে, ইছামতিতে দিয়েছে, পুনর্ভবাতে দিয়েছে, একটার পর একটা নদীতে, যমুনাতে দিচ্ছে। এর ফলে সমস্ত আমাদের জলাভূমিগুলো শেষ হয়ে যাচ্ছে, প্রচুর মৎস্যজীবী বাইরে চলে যাচ্ছে কাজ করবার জন্য। আমরা প্রতিবাদ অনেক করেছি, 1 লক্ষ গণস্বাক্ষর পাঠিয়েছি আত্রেয়ীকে কেন্দ্র করে, এরকম করেছি, কিন্তু পুরো ড্রাই হয়ে যাচ্ছে, মাছের খুব অভাব হয়ে গেছে। ওই বিরলে একটা দিচ্ছে, মোহনপুরে বাদ দিচ্ছে, সবখানে। তো এ থেকে করবার কি উপায় আছে, কিভাবে আমরা বেরোতে পারি? আমাদের ইনল্যান্ড ওয়াটার যেগুলো, সেই ওয়াটারটা টোটালি নষ্ট হয়ে যাচ্ছে নর্থ বেঙ্গলের ক্ষেত্রে। ফারাক্কার ক্ষেত্রে ইলেকট্রিক জাল দিয়ে তারা মারছে, প্রচুর ওই চিংড়ি থেকে আরম্ভ করে ইলিশকে ব্যাপক পরিমাণে ইলেকট্রিক জাল দিয়ে মেরে দিচ্ছে। এটা একটু ব্যাপার আর কি সংযোজন।
আপনার যখন বলছে না আপনার যে ট্যাবলেট দিয়েছে ছোটা মাছ মারা গেছে, আপনার তো কমিউনিটির জন্য না, আপনার ট্যাবলেট সোসাইটির জন্য প্রতিরোধ করবে, আমাদের ট্যাবলেট জাল ওখানে ফেলবে না। আপনার ট্যাবলেট ফেলে দেবে তো কি হবে, ও মাছটা মরে যাবে। হ্যাঁ, দ্যাট ইজ এ ক্যাপসুল, ও ডিফারেন্ট जो আপনার যখন ও মানে আপনার যে ন্যাচারাল ব্লিচিং পাউডার দিতে পারবে, ও ব্লিচিং পাউডার জন্য কি হবে না, ব্লিচিং পাউডার জন্য কি মহুয়া অয়েল কেক, ও যে ট্র্যাডিশনাল মেথড অফ প্লান্ট ম্যানেজমেন্ট আছে ওনাদের অ্যাডপ্ট করবে। যখন অ্যাডপ্ট করবে তো ওখানে হবে না। আর আপনার এগ্রিকালচার ফিল্ড থেকে যখন আপনার টি গার্ডেন আছে, ও পেস্টিসাইড অ্যাপ্লাই হচ্ছে, কি এগ্রিকালচার জন্য ধানের জন্য বীজ অ্যাপ্লাই করেছে, ওনাদের রেস্ট্রিক্টেড ইউজ করবার হচ্ছে। তো তখন এই কাজটা হতে পারবে। আমাদের জিন থাকে ও তো ফেলে গেছে যে পেস্টিসাইড ইউজ করবে, বিনা ইউজ আমরা প্রোডাকশন বাড়বে না, তখন এই কাজটা হচ্ছে। তো আমাদের যে ফিশারি স্মল স্কেল ফিশারম্যান অ্যাসোসিয়েশন করবে, ও বেল্টের জন্য ইয়ে করবে, আইস্তা ওয়ান ডে ইট উইল নট হ্যাপেন। আস্তে আস্তে যখন করতে পারবে তো কাজটা হতে পারবে। और আপনার বলছে যে ট্রান্সবাউন্ডারি ইস্যুজ ও ইন্টার গভর্নমেন্টাল টক এভরি ইয়ার হচ্ছে, जो জল রাশির জন্য আপনার তিস্তা আর গঙ্গা প্রবলেম, ওয়াটার ডেভেলপমেন্টের জন্য হচ্ছে, বায়োলেটারাল টক হচ্ছে, ওনাদের শর্ট পারপাসের জন্য গভর্নমেন্ট ডিসাইড করবে, আমাদের ये প্ল্যাটফর্মে ও পয়েন্ট আউট করতে পারবে, लेकिन আমাদের इसमें সলিউশন দিতে পারবে না। ये दोनों मिनिस्टर जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर लेवल बात होবে তো যখন এই কাজটা সম্ভব হবে, যখন আপনার ফারাক্কা তো জল ছড়েছে, তিস্তা তোরসার এই কাজটা হচ্ছে, এখন যখন ওনাদের একটা ড্যাম হচ্ছে, ইন্ডিয়ান পার্টনার সাপোর্ট করেছে কেমন ড্যামটা কনস্ট্রাকশন হতে পারবে, সিফরি পার্টনার হচ্ছে ওনাদের জন্যে। তো এই কাজটা इंटर गवर्नमेंटल डिस्कशन जन होबे ये प्लैटफर्म जन ये इशू रेकर्ड होते पारबे जो नेशनल लेवल की इंटरनेशनल लेवल थाके प्रोजेक्शन करते पारबे। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद सर। आपने कई तरह के चीज़ों को हम लोगों के सामने रखे हैं। हमारे यहाँ एक समस्या ये है कि अब करंट के द्वारा, बिजली के द्वारा मछली मारे जा रहे हैं और उससे जो है जो बड़ी मछलियाँ उसको निकाल ले जा रहे हैं और जो छोटी छोटी अमूलकाय की जो मछलियाँ हैं वो मरी परी रहती है और हिल रहा है। इससे है क्या कि मछलियों की संख्या घट रही है, मछलियों की संख्या घट रही है। और दूसरा है क्या कि ये जो आपने जाल से जो मछली मारने का जो तरीका चल रहा है कई तरह तरह की नदियों में, तो वो जाल उस नेट में जो है वो ज़्यादातर मछली जो हम लोग मच्छर से बचने के लिए जो घर में लगाते हैं उसकी प्रयोग विशाल हर जगह है। और जब हर जगह अगर होगा तो मछलियाँ कमेगा, तो क्या हम लोगों के बीच जो सरकार है क्या ये नीति बन सकती है कि हम कितना छेद वाले जाल का नेट का प्रयोग करें ताकि हमारी मछली बचे और हमारा भारत में जो है तरह तरह की जो मछलियाँ आती थी तो वो भी जो है हमारा कायम रहे। एक तरफ से ये बीज ही समाप्त हो रहा है इस तरह के जाल से।
ठीक है। अच्छा, आपने ये कम्युनिटी एम्पावरमेंट का एक चीज़ होता है जिसमें एक कम्युनिटी को सही ढंग से एम्पावर करने से एक कार्य संभव होगा। कैसे देखिए, चिल्का में वो एनफोर्समेंट होता है जहाँ घेरी उच्छेद और जीरो साइड मैच को उसको बर्न कर दिया जाता है। और एनफोर्समेंट आपका जैसे सोसाइटी होगा, सपोज ए वाटर बॉडी यू हैव ए सोसाइटी में सबके लोग को एक एनफोर्समेंट होना चाहिए। आप लोग जीरो मैच यूज नहीं करेंगे और इस आपका कम्युनिटी सोसाइटी बिल्डअप नहीं होगा तो यू कैन नॉट प्रिवेंट। फिर भी एक सवाल आप लोग बोलेंगे हमारा ये विलेज सोसाइटी है, दूसरा विलेज हम लोग मानता नहीं है, लेकिन उसी में डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को लेना पड़ेगा क्योंकि फिशरीज इज ए स्टेट चैप्टर, वो राज्य सरकार का पक्षभुक्त होता है फिशरीज। हम लोग गाइडलाइन इशू करेंगे, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन वो आपका स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इसको करेगा। जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट सही ढंग से इसको करेगा तो है। बाकी सवाल का बहुत लोग बोलते हैं हमको तो रोजी रोटी नहीं मिल रहा है, हम छोड़ देने से दूसरा लोग पकड़ लेंगे, हम क्यों कैच नहीं करेंगे। हम बात करते हैं तरीका से, मैं हर जगह में जाता हूँ, बात करते हैं, लेकिन बोलते हैं हम तो इसको छोड़ देंगे, वो दूसरा लोग ये कर लेंगे। अभी हम लोग को जो एक हल्दी नदी में काम कर रहे थे, इस जीरो मैच के बारे में बात हो रहा था। बोलेंगे हम इस तरफ जीरो मैच नहीं करेंगे तो मछली जाल यूज नहीं करेंगे तो आगे वाला करके ले जाते हैं, हम क्यों नहीं करेंगे, ट्रोल वाला करके बाई कैच में फेंक देते हैं। ये जो कॉमन प्लेटफॉर्म जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का फोरकास्टिंग होता है कि रेडियो टॉक होता है कि जो उनका ब्लॉक लेवल जो वीडियो जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर का ये परव्यू में आता है, ये सब गाइडलाइन पुलिस स्टेशन का माध्यम में होता है। और हमारा इतना इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं होता है क्योंकि हमारा वेलफेयर जो कम्युनिटी का वेलफेयर नहीं होता है, उसी में पावर वेस्टेड लिंक टू दी पुलिस वो जो ये नहीं होता है। जैसे मेराइन पुलिस स्टेशन है एस्चुरिन फेस्चुरिन देखने के लिए, इनलैंड सेक्टर में ये इतना हमारा स्ट्रिंजेंट रूल नहीं है, लेकिन इसको हो सकता है ओनली कम्युनिटी पार्टिसिपेशन मोड में। सपोज एक वेटलैंड के एक रिजर्वर में इतना बिल्डर, जैसे मैं एक बोलता हूँ, हम सरदार सरोवर निगम रिजर्वर का बात करते हैं जिसमें मध्य प्रदेश है, गुजरात है और महाराष्ट्र है। हम लोग मध्य प्रदेश गुजरात हमको दे दिए, उनको का गवर्नेंस पैटर्न क्या करने हैं। अभी तक गुजरात महाराष्ट्र देने के लिए तैयार नहीं, महाराष्ट्र इसलिए जो कॉमन प्लान जो बनाना है उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना है नर्मदा कंट्रोल अथॉरिटी में, वो नहीं हो पा रहा है। तो इसलिए हर जगह में स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का जो अथॉरिटी है उनको अहम लेना है और आपका कम्युनिटी का लीडरशिप स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए, देन इसको हम बंद कर सकते हैं। और तीसरा चीज़ है, क्योंकि जैसे प्लास्टिक, अभी देखिए ना, आप बाजार में जाते हैं, अब मछली खरीदते हैं, आपको बैग लेके जाते हैं क्या? आप बोलेंगे जरी प्लास्टिक था, वो सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक में दे दीजिए। प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है, हम जानते हैं ये हमको हानिकारक है, फिर भी हम जाते हैं बाबू जैसे वहाँ से प्लास्टिक में लेते हैं। तो सेम चीज़ हम हमारा लाइफस्टाइल में चेंज लाएंगे तो वही सोसाइटी में देन वी कैन इम्प्लीमेंट द प्रोग्राम।
वो नहीं, वो अभी समय कम है, फिर अभी हम आगे बात करेंगे। फिर अभी सो वी विल टेक ब्रेक फॉर टी, देन व्हेन वी विल कम बैक वी विल कंटिन्यू द डिस्कशन।
बाकी हमारा बहुत प्रेजेंटर, लर्नेड प्रेजेंटर है, सेम क्वेश्चन उनको बोलने से भी आपको क्लैरिफाई कर देंगे। धन्यवाद।
So on behalf of ICSF and all of us, then we thank Dr. B.K. Das for a very comprehensive presentation, and he has opened the 3 days program by highlighting all the issues that are going to be discussed in some detail in the subsequent sessions. Thank you, sir.